Friends, in the Bible, Baal is the pagan deity that the Israelites ran after, forsaking their Lord God Yahweh, who did mighty miracles for them. They feared Baal so much that they sacrificed their own children to him. Now we know about the devil and his demons, so one may assume that Baal is one of them. But he is not. Then who was he? Well, it is not hard to find. But we should ask questions instead of repeating something that some clueless scholars passed on to us. Now, the ancient characters have too many titles and nicknames. For example, Noah's son Ham had about 40 different titles in Tamil literature alone. Using these names at random is a trick that the devil plays to confuse the future generations from knowing the true account of history and thereby the truth itself. So, if we want to know the truth, we should ask journalistic questions and investigate everything. In the case of Baal, if you hear his whole story, something will click in your mind. That is, you will come to know that he was somebody that you already know. He descends into the realm of Moth, which is the realm of the dead, year after year, and then the earth turns barren. At this point, his sister Anath intervenes and takes revenge on Moth, and then Baal comes back. With him, the rain also returns and the earth turns green again. The scholars call this phenomenon the Baal cycle. But haven't we heard of a similar cycle in ancient Assyria almost 2000 years prior? Here I'm talking about the story of Semiramis and Tammuz. Semiramis was Ishtar, and she was a water nymph from Lucifer's abyss who killed Noah's great-grandson King Nimrod of Assyria. She also had an incestuous relationship with her own son Tammuz when he died at a young age of 40, gored by a wild boar. He also ended up in Sheol like every other human being, and he was tortured. Being the lover of Tammuz, Ishtar descended into Sheol, suffered a lot of humiliation on his behalf, and made a deal with the keeper of Sheol, which was none other than her own jealous sister, Ereshkigal, that Tammuz would spend 6 months in the underworld of the dead and 6 months among the living. This account is found in the Sumerian epic, The Descent of Ishtar. So, Baal is none other than Tammuz, friends. Ancient Israelites understood it. That's why there is a passage in the book of Ezekiel saying that women were weeping for Tammuz at the northern gate of Solomon's temple with no other explanation added to who he was. But today we have problems connecting the dots because things have changed a lot since then. By the way, Baal is a title equivalent to calling Tammuz the younger one. Look at this statue, he is shown young, whereas the older one is King Nimrod. In Sanskrit, which is very close to the language that Noah spoke, as well as in Hindi, the word Balak means a young boy even today. Thanks for watching.